Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Today we're gonna do a very, very in-depth color grading today. This video is gonna be a little bit longer, but if you wanna learn how I do my editing techniques, this is definitely the video to watch because this is gonna go into it very. Cause we're gonna go in from DaVinci and then we're gonna go into Final Cut because a lot of people want to know how am I creating an anamorphic look without using anamorphic lenses. So in this class right here, we're going to be going through color grading and then getting it to be anamorphic, okay? So this is the clip that we're going to work on right here. Um, Let me just push it up to the screen so you can see it. This was shot N raw. This is N log, N raw. And this is the clip we're going to start off with first. Okay. Now, when I shot this, I exposed this for highlights at 255 for zebras. No, 245, excuse me, for zebras. And because it seems like for N-Log, you need to like uh, overexpose by 2 stops to get this N-Log and raw to look really, really pleasing. And honestly, the reason why I'm doing this and raw um and log video clip because I kind of like I like the raw the end log raw. Not even gonna lie, even though I love the red NE, don't get me wrong, that's number one. But secondly, is this right here. So we're gonna first thing that we're gonna do is okay. We're gonna go back. All right. The first thing I do when I drag my image down to timeline, I go down here um, to the media box. Click on the media box. I right click. I go to clip attributes, and I always make sure it's on full, just to get it, more flatter. If I was to go to clip attributes and put it on video, if you look, it'll change the color slightly, you know. But I like it as flat and as possible. Okay. All right. So and then the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna I'm gonna change up the aspect ratio on this. So we're gonna go to aspect ratio button up here. I'm gonna custom. I'm gonna leave that at 3840, but then I'm gonna change this to 1772, and then it's gonna get a little wider now. You see that? And now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag it to right there. Boom. Now we have this extra wide look. Okay, but it's wide, but it's not anamorphic-ish yet. So we're not there yet. I'm just setting up the stage right now. So now the next thing that we're gonna do now we're gonna go into like basically starting the color grading, right? First I want to go into my raw settings and I want to go into change the project settings to full resolution and then bring it down to clip. Change the color space to Rex 2020. Okay. All right. And now when I already have a preset, so what I'm gonna do is um I made a preset already, and it's in my NRAW. Let me find it real quick. Let me see where it's at real quick. I think it's in here. Okay, so I already have something already set already. But I'm gonna strip it so we can do it from the beginning together. Okay, so this is the structure right here. So we're gonna make this. This is like the starting point, but we're gonna make it look even more better. So we're gonna disable everything. Start from the beginning. Take everything off. Start from the beginning. Everything off. Everything off. Okay. Everything off. Right? All right. Now, We have everything as flat as possible, right? Starting from the beginning. Now, in my raw settings, right? The first thing I want to do, I need to get this because since you can't control the ISO and the end raw settings, I need to bring it. I can't control ISO, so what do? I need to bring this right here, the exposure, negative 2 stops, and just get it right there as my starting base. Okay? All right. So we have that already set. Now, I want to go into my primaries, okay? And I want to tell DaVinci what color space that we're working in, as far as the HDR wheels, right? So I want to go into the three little buttons right here, and I want to go into color space, and I want to put it on Rec 2020, and then I want to put the gamma. Where is it at? Gotta look for N Nikon log. So now I basically told the HDR wheels how to process this Rec 2020 so I could get the most accurate sliders down here, okay? All right, so that's already set, right? So boom. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna I gotta make sure my color transform space is right. So in the color transform space is gonna be Rec 2020, Nikon N-Log, DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Wide Intermediate, and then our CST out is gonna be the reverse, but Rec 2020, and then we're gonna go to Cineon Film Log. Okay. All right. Let me see something here, and we're gonna do that. Okay. Let me give him some water. Some water. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Yeah. There you go. Boom. So now we're gonna start going into the color grading now. So we already set up. We already set the stage. Everything is already set. All right. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my LUTs, and I'm gonna go to my file real quick. I have a lot of different presets here, but we're gonna go into red IP creative, the red looks, and I'm going to go into the red film bleach bypass, and I'm gonna slap that there, and then here I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take my quasi DMG film look and throw that there. As you can see, it's not really looking like much, but it's getting to where I want it to look for my Cineon film log. Okay? All right, and then let me close that out. Now, because we already CST'd out, now I'm going to go into the film look right here. Okay, and then we're going to go into my film look. We're going to go, and this is, and the film looks are built right into this. Boom. Now we just gotta have to adjust it, right? So honestly, I'm not gonna go with this kind of look right here because it's like it's a little bit too gritty. I actually want to pop out the colors a little bit more, so I'm gonna go back to here and then find my sweet spot. Find my sweet spot. Film bias, no. I kind of like right here. So this is where we're gonna start. Boom, from right here. Easy transform. Okay. So now we got it looking, almost there, right? So now I want to go into my, in my primary node, I want to go into my primary wheels. Hold on. There you go. All right. We are back. Okay. All right, let's get this going. All right, so we got a nice little standing point that we want to go. Now, the first thing I want to do in my primaries, I want to bump up the gamma just a little bit. Let's bump up that gamma. Okay, get that gamma nice. Then I want to go to my HDR wheels, go to my global. Get that. Get that right there, looking right. Nice. Then I want to go into my white balance, back into my primary wheels, and just I want to lay off the blues a little bit, get into the warm. Now we're getting nice. Now we're getting nice. We're getting nice, right? All right. Okay, we got that looking good. Let me just slide over my CSTs, my nodes. Boom. Also, now I want to make another node before this node right here. I'm going to pull this down. Pull these here. Pull this up here. Let me name this node right here look, and name this node LUT, and then name this new node glow. Now, what I do with the glow, the reason why I use glow, I don't use the glow for the purposes of making things glow. I actually use the glow for the purpose of making it look more sharp. I use glow for sharpening. I know you're like, what? How's he using glow for sharpening? Well, I'm going to show you. Grab your glow, drag it down there. Now, what I do is, so follow along, because we're going to make this look even more like, I don't know how to put it, man. Give it that, just like that pop. So underneath the shine threshold, we're going to crank it all the way down. On the spread, we're going to crank it all the way down. We're going to go into advanced controls and the composite type, and we're going to go into soft light, right? And then with the gain, this is how we're going to control this sharpness. I'll bring it up right here. Right about there. Okay, right about there. And then we come out of that, and then we're going back into our primaries now. And we're just going to go into the primary wheels, lift our shadows a little bit, right? And then we're going to go back into our HDR and go into our light source and just bring that down. Bring that down. Go into our primary wheels, go into our highlights, get that down under there. Back into our HDR, go into our global. Now we got it looking how we want it to look a little bit. Now we just got to get the shadows from looking very, very crunchy. Back in our HDR wheels, we're going to look at our darks. So you can see our darks are very down here. So we're going to lift the darks up a little bit. Let's get it so we don't look too crushed. Let's look for our shadows. Get our shadows where we want them. It's looking a little good right there. All right, it's looking good. All right. Like that a lot right there. It's really, and look how we got this image looking. Now I'm going to turn on my secondary node, and this is going to be my power window. But I'm going to readjust this power window, and let me just make this smaller. 25%. We're going to feather this out a lot. And I'm gonna bring this down a little bit more, like right here. Open this up, flatten that out. Get that right there. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so now, going back to my power windows here. Let's bring this down a little more. Boom. Then I'm gonna create another power window. Make another node. Making one more power window now. I'm gonna name it power out. Because now I'm gonna affect the out. Go into my power window. Let's adjust this correctly. Feather it out. And then we're gonna go into the HDR wheels. Color space Rec 2020. Gamma. N-Log. Nikon N-Log. And then we're gonna the shadows. Shadows. My primaries. We want to pop him out more, so we want him to look more prevalent. Okay. Lift the camera up just a little bit. Now we're looking there. It's looking nice. Nice. All right. So I think we are almost there, but not there yet. What I really want to do now with the first power window on him, I actually want to make another node, but I want to make it I want to group these nodes right here. I want to make it with option P. I'm going to do that over. This one right here, option P. So right underneath this one, we're gonna name this one sharp. Right underneath. 1 second. Show it back here. So now, this is what I do with my sharpness. I go into color space, lab ICE or CE, whatever it's called. And then I go into the channels, and I turn off 2, and I turn off 3. And we're just gonna get this, go into the blur tab. And we're just gonna start high, very blurry. And we're just gonna bring it back until it gets a little bit sharp right there. And that's how I like it right there. Boom, back that off. Boom, look at that. Boom. All right, guys. So now we're going into the next step where we're gonna XML this out of DaVinci into Final Cut, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. I don't know how anybody else does it, but we're gonna go here. Open this up. The only clip I want to take is basically the clip we just worked on. Take these off. Bring this back here. You're gonna hit alphabet O on the keyboard, so it just highlights that. Let's go back here. Just to make sure, do a secondary touch up just to make sure this is what we want. All right, secondary. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry. Make sure we're in the right one. You just want to make sure everything is right. You know, everything is right when you do it. You know, make sure everything is right, just to make sure. Because we're gonna bounce this out of here, so we want to make sure that everything is right before we bring it into Final Cut. So I just want to make a little adjustments real quick just to make sure. Actually, I'm not gonna make the node here. I'm actually gonna, after here, I'm gonna make another node after the film LUT. I'm gonna create another node, fry, and then I'm gonna select both of these, composite the node, open it up, and then here's what I want to do, my little adjustments real quick. I just want to make sure everything is good. It's faded. I just want to make it a little bit faded out a little bit. Okay. All right, so we should be straight. We're gonna go to the rocket. Now, if you didn't, I already made my preset for this, but we're gonna go into Final Cut. Okay. You want an XML, so you want to hit Final Cut. Me, I already have one made, so I already have mine already set. Take a snapshot of my settings right here. In order to use the XML, you have to have an XML folder already created on your desktop, so make sure you make an XML folder. And just go by this, and then make sure your audio is linear PCM, 32-bit float. We're gonna hit Add to Render, and I'm gonna come back when it's done. All right, we are back. We are in Final Cut. Now I just have to go get my clip. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my XML folder, which is right here. Bring Final Cut back up. Let me see where my folder is at. Folder's right here. Just want to find the clip that I created, that I edited. Shit. It's right here. We're going to take that. I'm going to drag that into Final Cut. And now we have it in Final Cut. Okay. Hold on, the baby is wild. So now we got it in Final Cut. Down. Now we got it into Final Cut. Now this is where the magic comes. Now I'm going to go into modify my aspect ratio. Go to custom 3840 1772. The magic number. That's going to stretch out like that. Drop this into the timeline. Boom, like that. Okay. So now it's nice and wide. Like that. But here's the secret sauce. So now people are like, damn, how you make your stuff look anamorphic? This is how I'm doing it. So in Motion VFX, they have a plugin, and it's the music video. It's the first version that they made. and they have an anamorphic lens on here. Now watch what I do when I add this on here. Look at this. I can add the black bars on there if I want. They also have a flare that you can add on here, and you can fully like, customize it too. You can like move it and stuff around. Like I put the flare here if I want. Going. It got settings. Go into the settings of it. I like to make this. I'm gonna make the flares like slow. So I don't want it to move. And then under lens distortion, this is how you get in this radial blur on the sides. If I crank it up, you'll see it like get more blurry. I don't like it like that. I like to go for like 3. I type in 3 and get it like that, and then boom. And now we have this super ill anamorphic look. And if you don't want the black bars, honestly, I don't like the black bars, so I take them off. So if you want this super look right here, this is how you get it done. Thank you for joining the class. It's KZ Flicks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment so you can see more content like this on your feed. And I will be doing more color gradings and more tutorials. The next one will be on a red raw. This one was on analog raw. So thank you guys. Hope you learned from this. One love. Keep creating. Hit me back.